Good to see you. I know that you're masking. So if you need to take off because you're back because you're not doing well, just dive. Everybody here will understand. Trust me. All right.
I know.
Everybody gets it. Though there is like an endorphin rush spending time with our family here, and it's New Year's Eve, and I'm glad we have so many people here. We have like 20 some odd people are hanging out on New Year's Eve, which is great.
No.
So nobody has to be alone for a part of the night, at least tonight. So, yeah. So I guess we can just jump in. I had some people ask about the Spinal Tap.
Yes.
Need dramatic music. I survived. Obviously, I survived. And it was thanks to y'all. We were here Christmas night because we talked about it Christmas night, and I don't remember who it was because my memory's crap. But they were like, they said it was pretty much like an epidural, and it got me thinking. I've had epidurals in the past, and I survived those. So I went in it like, okay, I'm going to be fine, right? I took everybody's advice about laying down afterwards, taking the day off afterwards, and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to jinx myself in case I have to do another one, but honestly, it wasn't that bad. It really wasn't as bad as I built myself up to. No sedatives, no Xanax, no nothing. The guy, he stabbed me with the lidocaine, which I hadn't been stabbed in my back in like 8 months. So I remembered how bad that hurt. And I remember the lidocaine burning. But he put just the right amount in, because I could feel some pressure occasionally when he had the big needle inside of me. But that was it. That was it. And I told him, and I'll tell everybody, and when I do my review on UT Southwest website for the hospital, I'm going to put it in there. That guy needs to teach a class in doing what he did. Yeah. He was a PA, right? And the supervising doctor I found this out afterwards. The supervising doctor was via video conference. Okay. Yeah. So.
What?
But yeah, I know.
Is that allowed?
Telehealth, right? Telehealth.
I guess, yeah.
I never went that extreme, but telehealth. And I told him when I was done, I'm like, you need to teach a class in this. You need to teach a class in this because I've been abused by the worst. And I actually said Dr. Pena's name in Granbury. I said, but he's in Fort Worth now, so you may see some of his patients. Be nice to him. I go, that have just abused me when they've done this. Like I had an SI injection, but by Dr. Pena in his office, no lidocaine, no nothing. One needle, one shot, right? And but this guy, he was good. He was good. He should teach a class. He should just stop becoming a doctor and just make money teaching, because he's that good. So, and it went really well. And I found out while I was on the table, while he still was inside, the needles were still inside me. I started getting my test results right then, as I'm laying on the table. He said, because we had talked for about 10 minutes before, in my prep room, and he's like, why are you doing it? And I'm like, well, they want the pressure test, and then they want you to get a sample of the fluid so they can test that. And so while I'm laying on the table and the needle's still in me, he's like, well, your pressure's normal. You're a 17 under pressure. You're fine. So you don't. Whatever he's thinking is going on, you don't have pressure. If there's pressure, it's not spinal fluid, right? Yeah. Then he proceeded to take out 20 cc, I think he said, of spinal fluid. Yeah. And it was funny because he was like, in the prep, he was like, 25 really is our limit on what we take out as a general hard limit. We don't take out more than that. And he's scrolling on a computer screen. He goes, but your doctor has ordered an incredible amount of tests on this fluid. So I bet we're going to do it. We'll do that 25. You're going to do it 26. Yeah. But another kudos for University of Texas Southwestern. and which is this campus, this hospital is in Dallas. Um, I get in, he stabs me, he takes all the stuff out of me. I can see across the room the 4 vials of the stuff that he pulled out of me, and they start wheeling me out. They get me to the recovery room, and they're like, "You're going to be here for like 45 minutes, and then if your blood pressure is still good in 45 minutes, you get to go home."
Wow.
And as they walk out of the room, leave me some really cool, really tasty crackers and a small glass of water. Crackers, another thing I got to put in the review. The crackers were awesome. They were like really good. There were some kind of German crackers. It was in German. I couldn't read what they were, right?
Really?
And so as I'm laying there, not 10 minutes out from having the needle taken out of me, my phone, I'm on my phone, just screwing around. I start getting text messages. Hi, Mr. Johnson. This is a message from UT Southwestern. We have a test result for you in my chart. Click this link. And I was like, that's crazy. I guess that's that 17 PSI, not PSI, whatever
Right.
they use, right? And so I clicked it, and it was a no. It was, they'd already done a test on some of the spinal fluid, right? So before I left the hospital, I was in the bed for 45 minutes before I walked out, right? I not wheelchaired out. I just walked out to get back in the car. I had 6 text messages from UT Southwestern on test results already. No, 5 for test results. And my neurologist, who I've only seen once, texted me as well, right?
That's crazy.
Saying, your PSI came back, blah, 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 you know?
Yeah.
I was blown away. And I ended up sleeping most of the way home. But I woke up and I had more text, I had more messages. They got the results to me that quick. Holy cow, Jen just caught this. Jen said my last opening pressure was 63. Holy cannoli, they take out 40 milliliter every time. Sheesh. Wow, God bless you. Jen, I think it was you that I need to give the credit to for calming me down. Were you here on Christmas? That was the nice lady that was telling me to not freak out, that everything's going to be okay. I think that was you. So, and if it is you, thank you very much, because you're an angel. If you don't have your angel wings yet, let me know, and I will get on Amazon and get them to you soon, because you deserve them for that. You know, you are such a sweetheart, and I mean that in a good way, not like a bad way. Thank you for coaching me through it. But yeah, they've already got test results back. So what do I know so far? I'm normal.
Are you?
I'm like part of the class now that the doctors, yeah, right. We've done all the tests and everything's normal. So just go home and we'll keep an eye on it. We'll treat the symptoms you're showing, but we don't know what to treat. I know for a fact I don't have pseudotumor cerebri. I know for a fact I don't have meningitis. I know for a fact that I don't have. A lot of the tests are coming back just like letters, like VPK space DC space QRQ. I mean, on and on and on. So I'm having to Google this stuff. He tested me for an extremely rare version of herpes, which leads to meningitis. I don't have that, and I don't have meningitis. You know, so
So we're and for sure.
So, but it is good. And you know, I sent a note to the neurologist, and I'm like, look, I am happy that I don't have anything like traumatic or terrible, but man, I was really hoping for a direction.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's like the double-edged sword. I feel like when anybody's trying to get diagnosed with something, it's that you don't want something to be wrong, obviously, but you also kind of want something to be wrong to validate your symptoms and to know what to do and what path to take. So it's like, yes, getting these normal test results back are, in theory, a good thing, but it also leaves you with no direction and no solution. So, you know, it's like you don't want to be out here wishing for something to be wrong with you, but if you're having these symptoms, you want something that validates that and tells you what to do. So it's like the
Yeah.
weirdest, like double-edged sword because, it's just the weirdest feeling to want something to be wrong with you, but you don't want it to be wrong with you,
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
like,
Try explaining that to a normal person,
right.
right?
I'm like,
It
I
doesn't make
don't want it
sense.
to be wrong with me, but I do, but I don't, but I do.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know. It's so hard to explain, but like, you guys get it.
Yeah, that's what the family gets, and that's what's so beautiful about this family is we can say stuff crazy like that, and everybody understands it. Everybody
Yeah.
everybody gets it. I don't want meningitis, even though that can be treated now. I don't want this cerebral, um, but
Right.
that can be treated, right? But it's kind of like we had a conversation about when we have flares and we didn't do anything wrong, right?
Mhm.
So with this and being normal and the test coming back normal, it's like give me some direction so I know what not to do to
Right.
trigger, and I'm not even getting that, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's tough for my brain to process, right?
Hmm.
That's a tough one for my brain to process. So, um, but I survived it. Yeah. It wasn't as bad as I was fearing. And if you are facing a spinal tap or what they like to call now lumbar punctures, um, and you're nervous, Jen is here. Start following Jen. Say, hey, I may be getting one of these. Can you help me with this or give me some info? Tell you,
Yeah.
she's a rock star. She got me through. She was on. I cannot credit you enough. You and the doctor or the PA that did this are blessings to me. You really are. Or message me, and I'll be happy to talk to you and tell you about my experience. And like they didn't even tell me to lay down for 2 hours afterwards. It was good because it was a 2 hour drive back to the car. I mean, I leaned the
Right.
seat back in the car, right? But that's about
Yeah.
all I got. Worst part for me was we had to be up at 3 o'clock Monday morning
Mm.
to leave by 5 to arrive at 7 for a procedure at 9, right? And so I got like an hour sleep, hour and a half that night. So when I got home yesterday, I slept. I
Yeah.
slept all day long. So now I can't sleep.
Right.
But I
Now you
can't
just,
I can't blame the spinal
yeah.
tap for it because
Right.
the spinal tap had no bearing on that
Yeah.
at all. At all.
Yeah.
Um,
But
so
that's
yeah,
good.
that, I'm real quick looking at my notes. I think that's about all I've written down. Jen is a godsend. That PO is a godsend. UT Southwest, if you're in the DFW area, highly recommend. Highly
Yeah.
recommend if you can get into.
And I think we talked about this on Christmas where that, I think it was Jen that was saying it, and then there was somebody else who was saying, I think maybe it was Shelly that was talking about the spinal tap, and she was saying, like, it's really not that bad. Don't work yourself up. And we were talking about how it's such like human nature to work yourself up before any type of procedure or whatever. And then once you get it done, you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. And so it's good that that's how your experience was too, because you did kind of maybe not expect the worst, but were prepared for it. And then it turned out to be not that big of a deal. And I feel like, you know,
Yeah.
we all do that. We all get ourselves worked up for it. And once we actually do it, we're like, oh, that wasn't fine, but it wasn't horrible.
It wasn't horrible. It wasn't horrible. But yeah, so it was good. But us getting worked up about stuff like that kind of goes into, you brought this up in a conversation that we had, and then I kind of snaked you and did a video on it before you could, which I owe you an apology for.
I'm just
I
kidding.
do owe you an apology for.
Don't
Um,
care.
so the question you brought up is, if we develop something new,
Mhm.
how long do people wait to go see their doctor,
Mhm.
right? And I'm going to tie this together with this paranoia of these procedures, is because to me, it works the same thing, because I don't want to have, what are they going to do to me? I don't want to bring it up. And then what kind of tests are they going to do? And what does this mean to my current diagnosis and all that and stuff like that? So it's the psyche, right? And we had a lot of people leave good comments, you know.
Yeah.
I'm guilty. As I said in my video, I went like 4 months without telling my pain doctor about the migraines and the brain fog.
Mm-hmm.
And just kept telling myself it would pass.
It'd
Right?
get better. Or I could
Yeah.
figure it out. Or something will help.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gaslight
So-
yourself.
You do.
100%. Because, I think so many of us have some form of medical PTSD. And it's like, okay, I don't want a new symptom on top of everything I already have. But if I go and get this checked out, well, that's going to mean imaging. And then if something shows in the imaging, well, they're going to want to do injections or they're going to want to do this or that. And it's like, that's just adding more to our plate already. And it's just overwhelming, I think, sometimes. So, I'm guilty of like gaslighting myself and being like, oh, it's fine. It's really not that bad. Like, I can live with it. Or, well, my pain medication helps it a little bit, so it's fine. I can ignore it for a couple days.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, you probably shouldn't. You should probably check it out sooner than later. And that's why I asked people, I was like, I feel like for most of my things or symptoms in my life, I have a protocol. If something happens for so long or is to an extent, I get it checked out or I do something about it. But when it's a symptom that isn't life-threatening and it isn't consuming my life, I'm just like, I don't know, I'll just figure it out later. And I'm like, I feel like I need to have something in place to where I can't, if it gets to a point, I have to do something. Because otherwise, I feel like I just avoid it my whole life. Because I hate going to the doctor, and I will not go to the ER unless I'm practically gone already.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, everybody had such good input and ideas and what they do, and it was really helpful. And it was just something that like I was thinking about because I've been experiencing a new symptom and I've put it off for way too long. way too long. So I don't know, it's just fun to kind of talk about these things with the community and just see what you guys are thinking and what you guys do.
Yeah, I think it's I want to be professional and say, well, I'll go as soon as it starts impacting my quality of life.
Right.
That's such a crock.
I would that's what I would tell other people to do.
Yeah, I know. And I can't tell people that because for more than 4 months my quality of life was terrible because I dealt with it. It just got to the point I couldn't deal with it any longer. And but I think a lot of us have, and I don't want to put words in your mouth or anybody else, but I truly feel a lot of us have this sense of, especially like with me right now with this, you're normal. So if I'm normal and with the current thing you're treating me for, and I go in with another symptom, here I go, here comes a normal person and we can't prove anything, and now I'm going to maybe bring you something else that's normal. And that's a big mind game. And it's not one that's easily addressable for me, but I think Valerie knew, had an idea where it was, but she'd have to speak up for herself. So if she knew or not, so that's a good question. I think it's individual, right? I think medical people may tell you to come in immediately, but I think if I broke my arm, I might go, right?
Right, and that's why I think, some people, I think it was Advo that said, she made the comment, she was like, I break it down into two things. If it has to do with like my respiratory or like life-threatening things, obviously you go right away. She's like, but otherwise, if it's spinal, muscular, whatever, she's like, I wait until the absolute last, until I cannot handle it anymore. And I kind of feel like that's where I'm at, just because, this past year, I stopped going to all of my doctors except my pain management because I was just tired. I was tired of seeing these doctors on a regular basis and them not doing anything or not knowing what to do. So I just said, I'm done. I'm not this from January till now. I was like, I'm not going to any doctors. I'm not doing it. You haven't helped. I need a break. I need a
Yeah.
break from doctors. And so I think that only made it worse, which made me put it off because I'm like, I could talk to my pain management doctor about it, obviously. But I just want to avoid doctors for like, just give me a break. I feel like all of us have that like point in our journey where we just need a break from doctors for a minute. And unfortunately, my break happened when this new symptom has been getting worse and worse and worse.
Right.
So my break has to come to an end, I think, eventually.
Yeah, and and it's the appointments as well,
Yeah.
right? I
Yeah. It's
I
exhausting.
I wrote up on the fridge, or Valerie wrote because you could read it. Because if I'd have written it, nobody could read it. On the fridge, it said appointments, and it said CT scan 1 this time, CT scan 2 date this time, lumbar injection this date. Then it said call pain doctor, and that one's still there. And so for like blessedly, it was less than 2 weeks. Every time I go to the fridge, I mean, it's like a good diet move because I don't want to go look at it to get something out of the fridge, right? Because it's a constant reminder I've got these appointments coming up, right?
Yeah.
And it gets old. It gets old and it gets expensive. Even if you have decent insurance, you got copays and you've got everything else that goes with it, and possibly new prescriptions. And can I get those prescriptions? And it just starts a whole new snowball. And that's one reason why I think I put this stuff off personally for me for as long as I could. And, so I should have done it a long time ago. But and then, just my medical PTSD that I have, I don't want to go see a doctor. Right.
Mhm.
So it's just, yeah.
Yeah, Moonchild, you're absolutely right. Having all these appointments is a full-time job.
Yeah.
And like when I would explain that to family members or whoever, and I'd be like, oh no, I can't do anything this week. I have like 3 doctor's appointments. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. It takes I'm exhausted the rest of the day after this appointment. And if I have an appointment Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday and Thursdays are spent in bed recouping because I had to drive somewhere, sit in an uncomfortable waiting room for God knows how long, do that, drive back. Like, it's exhausting. And if you're doing that several times a week, it's like you don't have time to do anything with your family. You don't have time to do anything else.
Yeah.
And that's takes the joy out of life.
Yeah, like Tara said, it's the prep and recovery, right?
Yeah.
And then you have people like me. It's 2 hours each way.
I can't imagine.
So that's my pain doc. That's between a 5 and a 6 hour day, right there, if he's on time, right? And if you're a chronic pain patient, back pain patient, or a leg pain patient, you know what it's like to be in a car for 2 hours, right?
Oh,
I
literally can't imagine how you do it because I typically have to go to Nashville like once a month, and that's like an hour and a half, hour and 45-minute drive with traffic, and that damn near kills me. And I'm like, how is Keith doing a 2-hour drive one way? Like, I don't know how you do that, but I mean, you gotta do what you do, but it's like, man, I just can't imagine.
I do that because I have a good doctor. That's it. Dr. Pena drove me to the point that I will do that. Spinal Tap here at the hospital local, but they're so bad, I'm not giving them my money, right?
Right.
So I mean, it just doesn't happen, you know. Holy crap, Jen, you have to go 13 hours. Oh wow.
Wow. That's amazing.
Whew, that's a
Being
nightmare.
in a car. I think I would fly at that point if I could, but I feel like flying is probably way more expensive.
A lot more
Not
expensive.
practical.
Yeah,
But
I don't think.
man,
I think if I can't get prednisone approved at times through United Healthcare, I don't think they're going to approve my Southwest Airlines ticket.
I know,
You
right?
know,
Oh
so
man. I cannot 13 hours. Wow. We are going to Alabama this weekend, and that's 4 hours, and I am dreading the 4 hour drive there. So I cannot imagine 13 hours.
that's just crazy. I
Bless
mean,
your heart.
but we do what we have to do, and
Right.
I would
We
right
have no
now.
choice.
Yeah, right now my pain doctor, he's back to the unicorn status, and so I would do that, right?
Yeah.
Because you know, like he actually increased my meds last time I saw him, right?
Yeah.
And it was his suggestion, so
That's a plus.
I was definitely lucky there. Real quick, can I talk about Thursday real quick? Can I self-promote for just a few minutes?
Absolutely. I'm excited.
Because so am I, and that's why I want
I
to talk to
messaged
people
Jen
about
today, and I was like, I'm so excited.
it. Invisible No More is coming home. It's its homecoming this week on Thursday night. It's myself and it's Jen, and the theme is make the memories. And when we talk about Jen, I'll give you a little bit of her story. She was gifted a trip of a lifetime to Malta. Now, Malta is this little bitty place in the Mediterranean. You know, remember from grade school where they teach you Italy is the boot, and then the Italy's also the soccer ball, right?
Yeah.
And then so Malta is out further into the Mediterranean than the south, Sicily. And she was really back and forth on whether she was going to go or not. And we talked a lot, and because it was like a 20-hour trip to get there, each way, right?
Jeez.
And like she flew from Long Island or from New York to Frankfurt, Germany, right? That was the first leg. So she wasn't going to go, but then we started thinking about things and can't turn it down. It was a gift, a non-refundable ticket. So that's when finally got her to go. Yeah. And I cannot wait for her to share some of the things that she experienced while she was in excruciating pain the entire time. But I posted one of the pictures she sent me when the flight there, out her window, the entire flight from New York to Frankfurt were the northern lights, the green lights up in the sky the whole way there.
Wow.
So that was her memory, right? Just first one. I mean, man, that's where they started, and they stayed at that type of incredible level the entire time she was there. So it's a really inspiring story. She's got a tragic story, but it's also damning. She's an inspiring person. Yeah. So, and it's back home. It's just Invisible No More would be just me and a guest. Thursday night, 7:00, and we're just going to talk. And if you guys have questions, as always, like when Amanda stepped in when I was sick, and I appreciate Amanda for doing that. So when I'm doing it, just like it was when I was there before, and I guess like she had it, if you have questions, throw them up, and we will definitely answer questions, and she'll take questions. She's an open book when it comes to this stuff. Her pain story will break your heart. Her personal story will break your heart. But this trip she made, she'll tell you it was one of the best things she's ever did. So yeah. It was incredible. So, and I'm excited to bring Invisible back. Invisible is a passion of mine. It was a divine inspiration months and months and months ago, and I swear to you, I really feel it brings the community together. People, regardless of the diagnosis, people are understanding that we are a community,
Yeah.
and that we're not alone in what we fight. And whether it's mental illness or it's chronic pain or it's chronic illness, we are all together in this. Um, and I'll bring it up like I did in the video when Jolene was there and she talked about the hysterectomy at a young age. And all the ladies in the comments just started typing them at 18, 17, 20, 21, 6, all the way up, filled the screen several times. It just kept scrolling.
It was powerful.
It was one of the most magical moments I've ever seen. And it was awesome. So that's the kind of thing, the community builder that this can be. If you haven't attended an Invisible No More Live, I would ask you to try it. If you haven't been to one recently, I would ask you to come back and try it again. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes. I could care less, but we want to make everybody know that they're safe and they're comfortable and that you're not alone. And that's really what we try to do and what we try to accomplish with it. So that's my advertisement. This segment of Invisible New Year's Eve brought to you by Thursday. Oh, I got the hat. Oh, thank you, Tara. I love it. You're awesome.
The more you know.
Yeah, it's awesome. So yeah, that's my advertisement.
It's gonna be good. And I feel like I say this all the time, but the thing about the Invisible No More on Thursdays is just proving over and over again that we're not alone. I'm not going to have the same diagnosis as Jennifer or whoever is on, but there's something in her story that I'm going to relate to, and I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, somebody else deals with that. Yeah. Okay, I'm not, and I don't know. I think just the feeling of not being alone, for me, has been such a game changer and has been so comforting to me, because it is such a lonely thing. Ooh, you got the glasses.
Oh, no.
But it's such a lonely thing.
Kelsey.
And stuff. So it's just knowing that you're not alone is so cool. And that's what I love about Thursday nights, is that, people share their stories, and it's just so good. I feel like I could go on and on about it, but it
is good. Bo, you're right. They do treat us like we asked for it. Not like it's not, and it is not like we chose to live this stuff, right? But at the same time, that's what I hope people get out of Tuesdays lives, and especially out of Thursdays lives, is a sense of community and a sense of belonging and a sense of empathy and understanding. That we can, for that hour, we can block the garbage out for a little bit and know that we're safe and that we're understood. And we can type something in the comments and we'll all understand it. Or even if we have a spouse or we have a partner or we have a best friend that knows of what's going on with us, that they probably wouldn't understand.
Right.
And so that's what we try to do, So, so yeah, that is good. Hang on, Valerie said something. Okay, there she is. Anyway, you saw something on the Ticker Talker that is really cool.
I did. And of course I forgot to write down who it was, but I saw a creator on here she has chronic illness as well. And I've seen a lot of people post, I don't know if it's a trend or whatever, but I've seen a lot of people post this where they're saying things they're going to do more of or less of, or do and don'ts of 2025. And she did it Chronic Illness Edition, and I thought it was the coolest thing. And so I wanted to kind of share with you guys and have you guys' input and maybe share some things you guys are going to do more of in 2025 or you're going to do in 2025. So we'll start off with the do's and do more of. One of the things she put was she's going to rest more and she's not going to feel guilty for resting. Yeah. And that was the first thing she put on the list, and I was like, yes, we are, because I don't know, maybe I'm the only one, but if I'm resting during the day, if I'm resting for too long during the day, I'm I need to be up doing something. The house needs cleaned, the dishes are in the sink, whatever. even though I know I should be resting, I feel guilty for it, and then I get up and do something. And so this next year, we're going to rest more, and we're not going to feel guilty for it. Another thing she put on there was she's going to do more research on her diagnoses so that she is more prepared when she goes into the doctor's offices. A more educated patient. We know doctors don't like us when we're educated patients,
They don't. But
it's better for us to be more educated and to know what's going on and what our symptoms are or what our diagnosis entails, because unfortunately we kind of have to be our own doctors sometimes. It sucks, but
yeah.
we have to.
Especially when we're normal.
Right.
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 You know,
yeah.
Can I put a caveat or a warning with the research on it?
Yes.
Can we separate asking Dr. Google what I have?
Yes.
Separate that from using Google to research.
Yes. In our don't category is actually don't Google your symptoms.
Okay. All right.
Do actual research. So you're right.
Okay.
Research your symptoms, research your diagnosis, but do not go to Dr. Google and take any type of website or paper. Look at actual published research articles, look at reputable sources. There's good reputable sources out there, especially if you have a diagnosis. A lot of diagnoses have an official website, and those are always really good to go to. So if you have I don't know, I'll just use me for example. If you have POTS or something, there's an official POTS website that has a whole bunch of information and actual research articles. Or if you have MS, go to the official MS website and go from there. The National Library of Medicine, absolutely good place to go as well. So go to the reputable places. Dr. Google will fuck you up those days. So don't.
Yeah, it will. And I agree with the rest one. I agree with that. And this is a difficult one for me, but I'm going to try to do better because I get corrected on this a lot. And because I'll want to do something, and I don't have the energy, or my back is killing me, or the brain fog is bad.
Yeah.
And I'll look at Valerie, and I'll be overly apologetic, and I'm like, I just can't do it. And then I'll get mad at myself for what my condition is preventing me from doing.
Yeah.
So I think what I'm going to try to put down on the dues for next year is try to give myself a little more grace.
Absolutely.
Going into 2025.
That's a great one.
And that's tough for me to say, dude, you're jacked up. You can't do this. Because in my upbringing, if somebody tells me I can't do something, it's going to kill me, but I'm going to do it.
Right? You're going to prove them wrong.
But I need to give myself a little bit more grace going forward, because there are definitely times that I do things that I know I shouldn't, and so I think that's and that's what I love with this idea of I'm going to do this, I'm not going to do that, because if I put on the refrigerator my New Year's resolution is to get myself grace, it would be, I would erase that by January 3rd, you know, and I wouldn't believe in it. Or if I haven't done it since about a year. I used to actually tape things up on my bathroom mirror, and maybe that's what I need to put on my bathroom mirror. It's just one word, grace, because I think that for me would be the biggest thing I could give myself for 2025.
Absolutely.
There's things I want to do, right? But I think if I can do that first, I think the other things will follow.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's what I liked about this list was I feel like, at least for me, setting resolutions, they never, I never follow through because it's like, oh, my resolution is I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But especially with being chronically ill or in pain all the time, like your life is so unpredictable. I can plan something. Lord knows if it's actually going to happen or not. But this list was I'm going to do more of this and I'm going to do less of this. So it's just every day putting an effort into drinking more water or, you know, getting out of bed at a reasonable hour. I'm going to try and do more of that. I'm going to do less doom scrolling at night. Or, I'm going to do less of this. And so that's where I really liked what she did because, especially for us, resolutions just aren't a thing. Like, we're not going to do it. I feel like if you do resolutions, like, bless you, because I don't know how you do it. But just thinking of ideas, like giving yourself more grace. Like, we're so hard on ourselves all the time. I mean, poor Keith had to listen to probably a dozen of my messages this weekend, just crying and being mad at myself for feeling horrible. And it's like, I need to give myself more grace. Like, it's okay to have a bad day. But you put this idea in your head that you need to be better.
It's okay to have a bad day, and it sucks to hear it, but it's important to know it.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything to cause a flare or a bad week.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, being part of the invisible community, our bodies are jacked, and our minds have been messed up or are messed up. I think a lot of us, I could be wrong, I think a lot of us have some kind of medical PTSD or trauma from being gaslit and stuff like that. And that's part of my grace to myself, is to remind myself when I'm having a bad episode and I'm trying, what did I do? What did I do to trigger? I don't have to necessarily do anything for my body. And one side, that's depressing as all hell. I understand that's depressing and it's a dangerous thought. It is a dangerous thought because we could be like, that could really push somebody over the cliff. But if you look at it like, that makes sense. This is who I am, and my body's jacked up.
Yeah.
It sucks ass, and it's not fair.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this too will pass, and eventually, and go forward.
It has to.
Pardon me?
It has to, right? That's what I keep telling myself. I'm like, it has to get better eventually. It just has to.
Put our heads down and keep pushing forward, right? And look for that. I'm a big proponent of silver linings. I always have looked for silver linings. There's got to be something positive, and in the invisible community, it can be really tough to find the silver linings. That's why I celebrate stuff like taking a shower, right? I celebrate stuff like I did XYZ. I celebrate these little, to normal people, these little things, right? But to me, those are major accomplishments, especially if I'm in the middle of a flare or something.
Absolutely.
And that's why we're going to celebrate what people doing that this week here in just in a few minutes. So while it's sad that we don't have to do anything, we can't beat ourselves up over it. So stop.
Which I'm still doing.
And this isn't on the cheat sheet here, y'all. If you don't have somebody that you can call or send a voice message to or a text message to, please do what you can to find somebody. this community is full of people that get you. You're not alone. And it's invaluable to have somebody to just call and or message or call or whatever to say this sucks.
Yeah.
And you're not, sometimes it may be trauma dumping, that's fine, but other times it's just you gotta get it out. You gotta get it out, because if we keep it in, it's going to eat us up. And if it eats us up, it's that big circle again, right? Our mind starts dwelling on stuff, which causes the body to get worse, which causes the mind to get worse, and it's the snake that's eating its tail, and
Yeah.
it'll never ever end, you know.
No.
So if you don't have somebody, reach out, you know. In the grand scheme of life, that's a project for Invisible. Is we're gonna see if we can come up with something to get people paired up. But at this moment, I just can't. I don't have the brain width, the bandwidth in my brain to push anything through, you know, to get it done. So, but I beg of you to try to find somebody you can text. And
especially,
if you can find
somebody in this community who understands you, that you can say something to, that if you said it to a normal person or a healthy person, they would probably be like, you probably need to get you committed, or you need to talk to somebody. But when you say it to somebody who understands what you're going through and who is experiencing the same thing, it's like they know what you mean, you know. And I'm so thankful for you and the other people that I have on this app who are always there and checking on me and letting me vent, or I get to be the support for them. Like, I'm so thankful, and it's so helpful because, you know, especially if you have a spouse or significant other, like, you don't always want to just dump on them. At least I don't. I try not to dump on my husband very often, because that's exhausting, not only for me but for him. And so having people that you can go to, especially somebody who understands, has been life-changing for me. Like, just even the past couple of months, finding friends who understand. And poor Keith has been on the tail end of some many conversations.
You know that.
But it's been so helpful. And, you know, I do the same for him, and it's been life-changing. So
yeah, it's just, I don't mind, and I'm pretty sure I can speak for the community on this, because this community is full of empaths. Really, it is. Nobody's going to mind, you know. And if you don't find somebody in the community, if you have an ability to do some counseling, that may be a route for you too. You know, just to get it out. One day I'll share the story of how I learned that you have to get it out. And that'll probably be like a special live, because that has nothing to do with the chronic pain community at all. But it applies to the chronic pain community, and applies to everybody who lives with who lives invisible. I swear, if you get it out, your load, the weight on your shoulders will lift. I guarantee it. I promise you that. That's a money back guarantee. You have nothing to lose, you know. And Moonchild, it is easier said than done, but it's important.
For sure.
It is important. So, I'm trying to think. Do we want to get into do victories next, or you want to do? I really kind of want to talk a little bit about a topic for an upcoming live, but I need help with. And I did a video about this. I think if y'all could throw some words or some terms out that make sense in the invisible community, that may not make sense in the normal world, I'd appreciate it. It's like almost, I like to do a dictionary or a spreadsheet, Like when I throw out the term buzzsaw, most people in the visible community get that's like a bad doctor or a doctor's having a bad day. Like Jen said, spoons. That's another one. That's a perfect example right there. Sometimes you run into a buzzsaw. No matter how prepared you are, you're going to get shot down. You're not going to get understood, right? Spoons, flares. A lot of people outside of the invisible community don't really understand when we say the word flare. I'm having a flare. They won't get it. Or some other words or expressions or things that make sense to us that may not make sense in the real world. Brain fog, Shelley, that's a great one. Especially to the level of brain fog that we can come up to,
Right.
that we can get, Thankfully, some of mine's clearing out. I think some of mine was medicine induced, believe it or not. I think it was that diuretic you had me on.
Really?
So, yeah. So if you can start thinking about stuff like that, so maybe that'd be a good topic for us next Tuesday. We can start doing some brainstorming for that. So, Dog One says, I call it pain brain. That's it.
Yes.
That is it. I mean, when it's bad, my brain fog, I shouldn't probably be driving a car. If it wasn't for nearly 1 million miles driving a big truck across country, for me, driving is nothing but muscle memory. Yeah. Nothing but look ahead and then every 2 seconds check your mirror over here, back to the side, check your mirror over here, and then back to your head's in the swivel the whole time. What's the car 6 cars ahead of you doing? Do you hear siren? All the kind of stuff that I had to do for all those miles. If it wasn't for that, me driving a car with brain fog would just not be a good thing. Shelley brought up another one, painsomnia. Yeah. Outside this community, people don't get that.
Real thing.
It's a dang real thing. Look at Bo. Of course you get 2 million safe miles. Of course you got 2 million. I got nearly 1 million. I'm not going to say they're all safe because I hauled frac sand out in West Texas for a while, and I can tell you for a fact those were not all safe miles. Guarantee that. So, but yeah, painsomnia. Nobody gets that outside of us. Yeah, it does. But that's why when you talk, if you can find somebody in the community to talk to when you're struggling, that makes the conversation so much easier because we can use our language and use your words. And that makes it just, you don't have to explain. People just know.
Yeah.
Right? You just need to know. I like what Advo just said. We need a flag to see if one of us is up and we can talk or we're available.
Like a calling call. You're like, I'm awake.
So it's So
I am awake more than I'm asleep ever. So chances are I am awake if you ever need me.
It's extremely rare that I have my phone on Do Not Disturb. But if I am asleep, though, good luck, because I probably won't hear it ring. Because by the time I finally sleep, I'm done.
Yeah. See, my phone is constantly on Do Not Disturb because I do not want to talk to anybody. Text me all day long. I will text you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call me on the phone, I'm not going to answer. The only people that can get through my Do Not Disturb are my husband and my parents. And my parents know to text me first. Be like, hey, can you talk? And I'm like, is this an emergency? Or you just want chit chat? And they're like, no, just want chit chat. I'm like, maybe later.
I reply to my sister quite often when she texts me. Standard reply to her, is this 911?
Yeah.
Like, is this an emergency? And yes. Typically it's either yes or no. And then I know I have to pay attention. So, I mean, I love her, but, so. But now that we've talked about depressing things like words that only us weirdos understand, right? Um, how about we do some victories? Does anybody have any victories this week? Please. Anything from taking a shower to spending time with your grandkids to surviving having a needle stuck in your spinal cord. Does anybody have any victories? If so, please start typing them in the comments because we need victories. Look at that. Joe took 3 showers this week. Hallelujah, man. I am jealous. I haven't had that kind of energy in a long time. Some advocates, my brain scan wasn't too bad. I'll take that as a victory, you know. Tracy got a bath today. That's awesome. That is awesome, you know. And yeah, I'm not going to brag, but I'm going to say I survived the needle, the spinal tap. You know, I'll take that as a victory. You know, all this stuff is you know, and though that is a victory for you today, is that you were able to get the meds, even though HEB is screwing with you. You were able to get the meds. It didn't have to pay an outrageous amount of money. That's huge. Moonchild got a new crown. That is awesome. Lana got a referral today for a tilt table test. Trying to get one done for a year. Hallelujah.
That's amazing. Let me know how that goes.
Leslie drove 25 hours and 4 days to spend Christmas with grandchildren on vacation until Thursday. Holy awesome. Cow, 25 hours. You're incredible. Love hug. Sat for a long movie, then took my 84-year-old mom to ER. Oh my God. Pain skyrocketed from being up, but I did it. Thank you for being there.
What movie did you see? Share
yeah, what'd you see? Kelsey survived calling 5 pharmacies until I got script filled. Hallelujah. That is awesome. That's awesome. You know. Okay. Thank you, Shelly. Remember Amanda because her granny passed. Thank you for that. Thank you for reminding us and letting us know. Advo, you finally got your meds? Texas is terrible, y'all. Texas is jacked up. Do not move to Texas if you have chronic pain. I can tell you that. Add that to stay to the list.
You saw good. So good. We saw it. My husband drugged me to the movies on Sunday because I was pouting so much. And we saw it for the second time because he was like, A, you need to get out of the house. And B, you love this movie. So it's going to bring you joy and make you smile. So we're going to the movies whether you like it or not. And so we saw Wicked this weekend too. It was so good.
Oh man, yeah, a flare after 25 hours in 4 days. I hate that, but the memories you made, that is awesome. That is awesome. You know.
I know, Love Pug. I've already asked my husband to buy it because it's on Amazon Prime now, but he says that this is his. Okay, so this is the drama in the house right now because I want him to buy Wicked. And he says that he's not going to buy it because it's not a digital copy. So he doesn't own it. You can't buy a digital copy until February. So it's just on Amazon. And we use my parents' Amazon account. So he was like, so what happens if, they... And I'm like, I don't know. We can cross that road when we get to it. But buy the freaking movie. Oh, we are in a quarrel right now because I want him to buy the movie right now. So that's the tea in the drama in our house right now.
You can tell y'all. How long y'all been married?
5 years.
Oh God, yeah, you guys are youngsters. You're quarreling. You're having number one. It's a quarrel, not an argument or a fight. It's a quarrel over a $20 movie.
Yeah.
You just wait. Give it 10 more years. Give it 10 more years. Yeah. Got quarrel.
I ain't married, friend. I mean, literally. I'm like, just buy the freaking movie. Who cares? You can buy the digital copy when the digital copy comes out. But would you rather pay $50 to go to the movies and see it? Because that's how much it costs to go to the movies.
Yeah, by the time you get popcorn and everything. Yeah. Hey, Bo, do yourself a favor. Take some extra meds and take your wife to go see it. Listen, brother, as a chronic pain person, a visible person who has a spouse that does a lot of things for me, there are things I don't want to do. Like I have really long hair. Why? Because Valerie likes it.
That's right.
Suck it up, Buttercup. You got 2 million miles over the road. You can handle it for 3 hours.
That's right.
Bo will never talk to me again. He's going to stop watching any of my videos.
Yes, and if at least our movie theater has those reclining seats, so I take a blanket with me, and I get the reclining seats, and I took a little pillow with me this time because my back has been hurting me. So I came in with like a little pillow and a blanket, and I just laid back for 3 hours and just chilled. It was great. I was gonna be in pain here at home or at the movie theater, so might as well just bring up my entire house with me and go to the movie theater. You know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I get you. I get you. You know,
Yeah.
I get you.
But
See, I would do the same, but I would want to go to a college football game, like to the national championship, and that would involve like gallons of plasma I'd have to sell ahead of time to pay for the ticket, and then that's just not happening. You know, it's just not happening. You know, so I guess one of the final things we haven't done tonight, any SWAT raids? Give us some tea. You're the tea lady. You got to have something. Don't be like, well, I got nothing.
I got nothing. I
You
don't
ain't got
have any
nothing.
tea. The only tea is that my husband won't buy me the movie.
So the tea is that you're having a quarrel. That's the
Tea is
tea.
that I'm having a quarrel. The tea is that my husband is sick right now.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the man flu is running rampant in our house right now.
Man
It's
flu is
just like,
deadly. Man flu is the worst thing on the planet for anybody that's in the house with a man that has the flu. It is terrible. You
it's
know,
just,
it's the worst. You know.
so send your thoughts and prayers to him. You know, bless his heart. He's not going to make it, but you know, we hope he will. And I keep trying to tell him that he'll feel better if he does something kind for me, buy me a movie, but he's too sick. But I don't know. No SWAT raids in the neighborhood this week. No drama. I have
Could
no
you
tea to spill.
could you buy him the movie as a gift to make him feel better?
I mean, it's our credit card, so I mean, I could buy it, but
No.
at
You're
this
missing
point, he's fighting it, so you know.
you're missing the point, honey. I know you're sick, so I bought this for you to watch, so you'll feel better, right? I mean, it wouldn't work for me,
Yeah.
you know, but maybe he's different.
Maybe.
You know, maybe he's different. So
At this point, I just really want to win, so
just
I need him. Even though it's our money, you know, I'll give him
That's
24 hours.
the fact you said at this point, all I want to do is win. Now that sounds like you've been married for like 15, 20 years. Is what that sounds like.
We're an old married couple.
Well, I'm sorry he's sick. That sucks. And I'm sorry for you that he's got man flu, because that's even worse for you. You know, and with everything else you got fighting going on, you know, it's not.
It's comical at this point. I think he doesn't get sick very often, so when he does, it's just like, it's so funny because, you know, the sky is falling, of course, but I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
we're gonna die.
what are your symptoms? And he's like, I don't know, I just don't feel good. And I'm
We're
like,
gonna die.
what? Well, like, are you congested? Like, what? And he's like, I just don't feel good. And I'm like, that's not helpful in the least bit. I'm like, I could help you if you tell me what's wrong. I know what medicine to take. And he's like, I just don't feel good. So I'm just throwing everything at him. I'm like, here, take this, take this, take this.
NyQuil. Just give him NyQuil. It'll knock him out, and then you can do whatever you want to do. And
It's
then
true.
there you go. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it's New Year's Eve. We survived Thanksgiving. We did a live Thanksgiving.
We did.
Did a live on Christmas night, which was, both of those were awesome. And now we're done New Year's Eve, and this community is just amazing. That we can all come together and we can start. We know that we we have a place to go. We have a place to go. And before I got stumbled into TikTok and everything, I didn't have this kind of community. Nobody got it. Nobody got it. So it's pretty cool. This is pretty cool. So does anybody have questions, comments you need to throw out there, you want to get off your chest? Just throw them out before we say sayonara to an invisible New Year. I am seriously looking forward to Thursday. Jennifer's story, it's heartbreaker. God bless her. But man, did she push through on this trip? And she's got some really cool stories about the medical system in Malta, because she ended up having to go to one of the clinics.
Oh, yeah.
I could move to Malta tomorrow because the clinics, I'll tell you that much. But evidently, we Googled it. It would take like 18 months to get our dogs through customs to make sure they don't bring anything in, So, so I can't move to Malta.
No.
Yeah, that wouldn't work. But, so I'm going to do Grace for my list of things I'm going to do. And I think that's a good place to go. Heidi, welcome. Reach out. You can message Miss Amy. I think Joe's still in here. Heidi, there's a dude in here. Joe, CRPS Warrior. Isn't that what you are, Joe? I just think it's Joe. Message those guys. You can email me, keithcpp@gmail.com. If you message me or leave a comment, I may not catch it. I'll be completely honest because I'm so far behind. That reminds me, Joe's going to do a live coming up on, he's going to interview his spouse, about talking to a spouse about their point of view of dealing with an invisible. It's going to be good.
Oh, yeah, tomorrow.
It's really good. Yes. So
1 p.m. Central Time. 2
I believe
p.m.
it's 1. Joe, if you're still in here, if you could tell us the times, I can appreciate it. If not, you can go to Joe's page, and on his profile, it's got the place, the live event. You can register for it and do it there.
Nice to get a perspective of the caregiver or the spouse, because they do so much for us, and they usually don't want any credit for it. That's just, they do it because they love us. And I think it's going to be so cool to hear just her perspective on everything and her journey along with it. So go check out Joe's page. It's going to be, tomorrow, 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern. I think it's going to be a really good live, really fun. And hopefully he can get more people to come on and do more spouses or more caregivers. Because I think that's going to be a really good.
It's a much needed series. And Moonchild, if you can't make it, I'm anticipating, Joe, you're going to put this up on the YouTube page, right? Yeah?
Oh,
so it'll be up on the YouTube page relatively quick. Joe has updated that YouTube page, y'all. Everything is up there. And it's so much smoother and slicker and looks prettier, much better than what I was doing. And he just got a new laptop, so it's going to be better. Hey, it's just going to be good stuff. So it's going to be cool. We'll have like Tuesday lives, and we'll like special event, like little folders, right? Like Tuesdays and special events, and then Invisible No Mores, and then we'll have Joe's, and then maybe if you want to do a live, you can have one just free too.
Nobody wants to hear me talk.
There's like 126 people have registered to be notified when a video gets uploaded, and y'all, that's free. And I would highly recommend that one we just did on newbies. That's up there. There's a lot of good information on that one. The one for lumbar punctures, that was Christmas. All right, go watch that one if you have questions about that. And there's a lot of good information on these videos, y'all. So, and Joe puts a lot of work into getting them put up, and he does a really, really, really good job. So, yeah, I think we're good. I think we survived. I think life is good. I am on cloud 9 right now because of the love in this room, in this community. You guys are the best. And Miss Amy, do you have any final words?
I just appreciate you guys. I feel like I say this every single time, but I'm going to say it again. So listen up. I appreciate you guys so much for being here and supporting us and just coming and sharing the community because, especially on hard days and things like that, coming to these lives like brings me joy and makes my day so much better. And I have been having a very rough go of it lately. And even though I've been feeling really bad, I was looking forward to tonight because I knew I was going to be with my community and have like the energy and the upliftingness from everybody. And it just makes my night better. So I appreciate you guys all for being here and sharing your stories and sharing your opinions and everything. And just love you guys so much. And I'm excited what this new year is going to bring.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully good things.
So am I. I am too. I want to say Happy New Year to y'all. I will not be awake at midnight watching any kind of balls drop. I will be hopefully sound asleep, but if I'm lucky, that's the plan, right?
Yeah.
Joe brought,
I hope to be asleep, but I'll.
Yeah, they'll be awake too, I'm sure. Joe brought up a good point. On the YouTube page, there's also some shorts. And if you do a video that you put on TikTok that you like, will you please let me or Amy or Joe know? And we'll get a copy of it from you and we'll put it up as a short. I have no problem. This is a community YouTube page. It's not mine. It's not Amy's. It's not Joe's. It's the community's page. So if you do a short and you want it up there, let us know so we can get it put up there. Because we want to make this our group. This is not Invisible's not me. It's not Amy. It's not Joe. It's, Now, I will take credit for coming up with Invisible No More. That is mine. But other than that, y'all can have this. Thank you very much for spending New Year's Eve with us. Thank you for all you do for me and for the support. I am working through the brain fog, so the videos will get better. I promise. If you subscribe to me, I promise I am doing everything I can to get better, to be more active and back to where I was. I had like 2 days of clarity, and I posted like 4 videos, and then shit just went downhill.
Yeah.
So I am working on it, trust me. And I hope to see you Thursday night. I'm looking forward to Thursday night and get everything started there again. And if you need me, it's Keith, Keithc, as in cat, P as in Paul, P as in Paul, at gmail.com. Or message Amy or message Joe, and we'll get back to you, y'all. I hope you guys have a great night, and we will see y'all next year. Please be safe tonight if you're heading out, and thank you all for making this Invisible community what it is. Love you guys. See you later. Be safe. Peace. Bye.